Hello and welcome to another day, another lake. This is a stream that I usually do on Mixer, but with all Mixer's problems and what's going on with Mixer, now it's changed into Facebook Games. I've shifted over to Twitch, and we'll bring this as well. This is somewhere where I like to have a little chill out. Fishing games may seem boring, and I understand that you've got to be interested in fishing and that to get the most out of fishing games. But give it some patience, take it with the right approach, and you'll find that you can have a bit of fun and get that zen sort of feeling. Now, I normally say it for fishing another lake, but something I like about fishing games is each lake gives you a different experience. But with Ultimate Fishing Simulator, you can go sea fishing. Not a lot of fishing games give you that opportunity to go sea fishing. And I've just unlocked, not Greenland, trawling boat, but Greenland Sea. So you can go fishing at Greenland and catch some Atlantic cod. So that's the aim here. But if you like fishing games, Ultimate Fishing Simulator is brilliant. First up, if you're into fishing games, I would assume most people have tried Fishing Planet. It's free to play on both Xbox and PlayStation, and obviously PC as well. And if you like the mechanics on that, then you'll love Ultimate Fishing Simulator. Ultimate Fishing Simulator is a little bit different. It's got a slight arcade feel to it compared to Fishing Planet, but it's still got all the customization issues. So this is where we are on the sea. So there's obviously some industry going on here, which is absolutely fine. You'd expect that. You'll notice the float. I haven't actually figured out the float fishing because I've never been float fishing at the sea before, but obviously you can do it. I've just put my rod pod down, but let's take you to different locations where you can go. So if you press your start button and you go to the map, you've got all these different locations. Now for me, I love beach fishing. Always have, always will. It's a little key to fish off there. But look at that, nice lighthouse. Fantastic setting. And what this gives you, this game, is the ability, like a little worm upgrade system. So that is hunting mode. It's raining, so never good for fishing. But that is like skill points. You earn skill points, so every level you go up, you get to earn some skill points, and you get to spend them here. I've still got a few to do, so Hunt Division 2 and 3. That sort of enables you to see where the fish are roughly lying underwater for a few seconds. But I found it better to go for a few others, which is lower the prices in the game, give you a bit more XP because that helps you upgrade. And I'm really wanting to unlock the sea fishing. One of the reasons I wanted the game in the first place was the sea fishing, and then obviously you can use boats, and the other one worth upgrading is your strength because your casting ability. Enough of that, let's actually get to the fishing itself. So, and I want to change my rod, so the setup, start button again, and it gives you 5 little templates where you can store your fishing. So obviously I've got it on a fresh water at the moment with a maggot. as a setup. Then there's the second one, which is a sea fishing rod. It's just a standard casting, but it's got no float on it, which is what I thought you would be handy on sea fishing, as is what you would use in real life. But not so great, apparently. And then you've got your standard sea fishing. I've just a float fishing, but all set up for sea fishing. But I've just purchased this rod, which I'm hoping is going to be really good. We've whacked some bait on there. Which bait are we using? Which bait it was? Oh, it's just a bit of cut bait on the larger side, I think. We'll go with this one. So, current set. Not actually a lot of fish about because it's raining. The rain really does have an effect. We'll stick that out there. Got your float window on the right hand side, middle of the screen. That's your float window. It can be zoomed in. I think these floats are purposely built for sea fishing because you don't get much of the view. You only get a little tiny tip on the top. What you can do on this game is press the X button. It can give you an underwater view. As you can see, a fish is around nicely and approaching. Let's took the bait. We'll strike and then we'll try and reel it in. We'll give you an underwater picture. That's a fish. It's obviously got a block on it, but I assume that's because it's been tagged. I don't quite understand the block, other than the fact that it must have been tagged. My overlay is in the wrong part, so I can't actually see too much. My overlay is in the right hand side in the corner of the screen, so I can't see this and win the battle too much, but now I can because I can see that it's coming in. So we're reeling this fish in. There's your underwater view. Watch tension in the middle of the screen. We don't want to overdo that and break the line. But yeah, this is the only one where I've encountered this little block underneath the fish, and I can only assume that's because it's been tagged and it's like a fishery sort of thing. Either that or it's a graphics problem on the game. It's a bit of a glitch. I mean, it could be modelling. I could be being kind and saying it's a tag of some sort. It could be the modelling of the fish. But we're reeling it in. And what I'll do is I'll show Ultimate Fishing Simulator a little bit off. So this is your Greenland cod. So you can either choose to release. You won't get any money, but you'll get extra. So 75 XP. Choose to release for an extra 16 XP, or you choose to sell it. I'll sell it because I've just spent all my money on rods recently. And then we'll run up to which is the second set, and I could jump there, but I'm very close, so I'll run up as I'm holding the left stick down to get here quickly. So this is your lighthouse. This is your second part. Where there's a bit of movement over there. Looks like there's a school of fish there, so we'll try and get it over there. Because they're moving. Let's see where we are. I don't think I've hit it far enough, but hopefully one of them will come away. So that's your underwater view. That's your sea view. I do find fishing games, a lot of fishing games give you, let's say, a nice relaxing thing. Something I've enjoyed certainly over lockdown and things like this is when I come downstairs in the morning and stuff like that is to open the double French window doors that we have at the back and just let nature in, because it's been fantastic. We're fortunate that we live near a nice sort of area that sort of comes onto to a country park, and even though we're a little distance from it, I mean, we were within sort of 5-10 minute walking distance into the actual main area. In the area they have sort of deer and mountainjacks, and sometimes, very occasionally, you keep them. They come up as far as the verge outside. But during lockdown, I've seen quite a few. It's they've just retreated because obviously lockdowns and things like that they're starting to end and stuff like that, or certainly starting to ease up a bit. So these I haven't seen the deer for a couple of weeks now, but they were appearing outside the green. And it's nice here in nature. The birds, the quietness of it all, and it's still relatively quiet. Even though there's obviously a bit of traffic now with people going back to work and stuff like that, there's still a lot of people that are off work or at home teaching the kids, and I'll hold my hand up to that one. A bit of schooling and that side of things at home, which is why sometimes first thing in the morning it's just nice to make yourself a cup of coffee and just chill out a little bit. You don't want to play a game that is full blast, sort of raging, that's gonna, i.e. one, wake the kids, and two, I don't know, is it, let's say, jumping into a game that's gonna full pulse racing. I've done it recently with Destiny, and that's been fine, but usually it's not my cup of tea. Usually it's more of an ease into sort of experience for me. So let's say the nature side of this, if you turn a fishing game up, sort of volume wise, hopefully that fish is swimming to our, I think it might be. Turn the noise up on a fishing game and you hear nature come in with the doors open. It is a fantastic experience. It really is. I've grown to appreciate nature. Certainly over the last few years, but certainly over the last sort of 4 or 5 months, even more so. I mean, my youngest has been watching squirrel videos, and bless him, he'd love a pet squirrel, but you can't have pet squirrels. But he's been watching these people that set up these obstacle courses for squirrels. And he'd love to do the same in our garden. And I said, sort of explained to him, I said, well, although we're close to sort of nature, we don't actually have any squirrels visit, and the ones that you'll be watching on YouTube, we'll reel that in. Little chuckles down there. As I say, the ones he's been watching, they happen to live right next to sort of areas where trees and things like that, where squirrels are gonna be, you know, and they stick their birds in now, and he'd love to do the same basically, but it's not going to happen. But as with fishing, a lot of games, it is hit and miss. Sometimes you get the experience right, but then if you like console fishing, you want to be catching fish. Whereas if you're out and about, you get the full nature thing from it, and you know that it's going to take 20 minutes, half hour, sometimes to catch a fish, and you'll be happy if you just catch several in a day. Console fishing you want a little bit more, which is why this game usually comes in, and you catch quite a lot. I mean, you can turn it on. There's two modes: normal mode and a much more realistic mode. But I haven't. This is the normal mode, and you can see you still go through periods of not catching fish from time to time. Although this may be because of where I'm at as well. Maybe sea fishing offers a different experience. I know it's come up and said to me a couple of times that my hook is not big enough for the area, and I suppose if you look at that fish that's drifting past right now, he does look quite meaty, doesn't he? Maybe he's just not interested in my little hook with my little tiny bit of meat on it, that he'd much rather a bit of substance rather than a little tiny crumb, if you like, to him. So, this is Greenland anyway. Quite a few you can walk along the coast, or you can jump along the coast. It goes right up there. It goes actually round the corner of those houses, round the back as well. But what we'll do is we'll jump places. So we'll have to exit here. Hopefully we'll catch a few more fish. I'll show you another sea fishing area before we get back to the freshwater. So another sea fishing on here is Pinus Lake. Unlocked around level 8 or 9, I think. Now you can go deep water fishing, but I won't do that because it's not much of a setting. You can go out on a boat and the waves roll in, but you can do it on here. So we'll go to Pinus Bay. This will take you to a nice little bay, nice little beach, a nice little pier, similar to this picture. I mean, obviously this is what it's created from in real life. So that's what it is in real life, this little picture in front of you. And then you'll see the recreation. Now I'm hoping for a lot of the PC add-ons to come this way, because that would be fantastic if they built on this. I already know there's an Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2 in the works for Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, so next gen. But this is the recreation. Here's your beach. So I think this rod's going to be too much. It's certainly not a rod that... Oh, please. Oh, I don't know. Let's bring this in there. I say this is going to be too much. So I'll go back to my rod here. Use this rod. Need to equip it. Good bait. So I've got that's my backpack. So this is what I have. Got 14 of these. So I clicked it, and then you equip it if it lets me. Yep. Float weight. I'll check this is right. So you've got to get the optimal weight, otherwise the float doesn't float. So it says 7 kilograms. I've got 7 kilograms on there. The rod that I'm using is different. It's only a level 4 rod because of the nature of the fishing. I'm only Not going for huge bits of fishing. It's sunny but a bit breezy, as it's telling me, so you can tell by its breeze as well, by the trees moving. So we've casted it out. Hopefully we'll get something. Also, you've got to be careful of the lengths of the bottom, so you can change your line how much the drop is into the sea or river. You do need a bit of patience for fishing games. That cast might not be in the best of places. We wouldn't give it more out in the open. But we'll give it a minute. I'll have a sip of coffee. I say fishing games are perfect for an unwind. I wouldn't play them in the evening though. That is definitely, because it certainly will unwind you and send you to sleep. As I say, if I'm gonna have a proper gaming sort of session, and I know it's gonna be like one of those days. So, like, say everyone's out in the household and it's just me, and then I know. Obviously, I'm a responsible adult, and I do get things done around the house and bits and pieces like that. But I would start off with something slowly and build my way into the day. And then obviously in the evening I would end up on something a bit more sort of full-blown action. Let's probably see him. Let's hit the hunting vision again. Why? And then let's whack this right out. I think that's best. So we'll go into the water a little bit. I don't mind getting my feet wet. Certainly not worth sitting on the sofa anyway. And we'll whack this fully out. That's a bit better. See the length of the... See one or two fish floating around. Hopefully a fish will come away better. If you don't believe me catching fishes, I do have a YouTube channel. There are a few videos posted on there of Ultimate Fishing Simulator where I've caught plenty of fish. I wouldn't be level 13 or 14 if I hadn't caught plenty of fish. There we are. And straight away we'll strike. We'll reel in. As you can see, despite my reeling in, he's getting away, so we need to tighten the line. But obviously that comes with tension, so we have to be careful because we don't want this bar in the middle to get to red. But we'll let him have a little pull because there's no point we're trying to fight against him. We're just going to have to watch he doesn't get too far. Do a bit of pumping action. Same as it is on freshwater fishing, you tend to let the fish get tired. But you don't want it to get too far. Now I've tightened it in and you'll notice that he's stopped pulling so much. I'm going to untighten it a little bit. Oh, no, a bit more life in him. We'll look at him running around, like he's really trying to wriggle around. And we'll try and land this fish. Be careful, use the tightness of the rod, so to the right hand side you'll see a little gauge, green. And it's got some numbers. I can't read them for you right now because my screen overlays on there. but it's got, each rod has different settings. You start off with the very basic rod, you start off with 3 settings. This one's got a few settings. Now, the tightness of the rod means he isn't going to go too far on the 100. In fact, I won't even have to reel in and he'll do some of the work for me. He'll come in himself, basically, because he can't pull too far. Obviously, I couldn't do that right at the start because you'd have broke the tension on the rod. That's the, if it had gone to red, you'd have lost the fish and broke the tension on the rod. I mean, the good thing about this is that you wouldn't have to resort your line out and stuff like that. If you were playing something like Fishing Planet, you would have to resort your line. So we are winning this battle. I'll drop it down a bit. Look. See the numbers coming down on the fish. That's how far out he is. See, we can, if you press up on the D-pad, reel in a bit quicker, but that does add to the tension. So I prefer to leave it about midway, 3 bars, which is on the far right of your screen. If I watch me press up, you can see it, and down, it's going up and down. That's the real speed. And usually, as you get closer, there's usually a tiny bit of life left in them. Like I said, now comes the net. You don't have the net to start off with in the game, but when you get up in the net, you need to say you push your bump button to pull out the net, and then your left brings the net in, or up, and right up, so we're too far away, so we have to bring it in with the stick, and then up again, and we should have it this time. And as certain fishing species obviously give you more money and more experience, so want to level up quickly after this point. Get to this isn't a lake. I would say the lake is not a lake, it's the area, the bay. See if we will sell that to the for some money, but what I will do is, like I say, I'm just more showing the game off on this rather than playing it properly, is we'll leave the area. We'll show you different points on this. Like I say, this is the thing, you actually can take the boat out at the end of the pier, but you can only go to around about here. There's the deep sea fishing will let you go a lot further up there. But then you go left to, or right, or you can go fish along the quay. But like I say, that's this area, but what I'll do is I'll take you to the very first. This being my first Twitch Ultimate Fishing Simulator stream. So there'll be more to come, I'm sure. So I like playing this game, but I'll just play it as I normally do, rather than chat away. So we go to the fisheries, and we'll take us back to the very first lake, which is Bessie Lake, where you go trout fishing. We'll play this lake. Now, one of the first things I suggest anyone does when they first get the game is to turn the music off. It is horrendous. It's cheerful, but too cheerful. It takes the whole feeling away. Like I say, it's just a personal preference, maybe. I don't know, but I've known a lot of people that don't like the music on this, and they all say the same thing about me. So you probably know if it's for you to turn the noise up, whack it up, and listen to nature. But this is the first lake. I'll press start, and I'll just show the different. You go around the different settings of the lake. But we need to change to a different setup. So we use this setup. I can't remember. Yep, this is the very first. I'm using the very first rod with the very first reel. with the very first line. Again, the first float. Can't remember if I'm short on bait whether... Yeah, even maggots are fine. I think the first bait you have is fly. If you go to the shop areas, obviously you can buy your different rods. I think it's spinning, casting, feeder and fly. Likewise applies to the reels. Get spinning, casting, bottom and fly. Lines are the same, you need different lines for different things, so I need to click it to the store. Floats. Obviously, as I found out for the game, you can go sea fishing with a float. You must be able to in real life, just in the UK you don't. That's, you know, it's just one of those things, but it must, maybe because the water's just a bit more still in other areas of the world that you can. Hooks, obviously they go up in size. The best thing to remember with hooks is they start off left to right, so the smallest will be a 4, a 2, a 1 and a 1-0 on this, and that's when it gets confusing and they start climbing. So they get down to 1, and then when they mention 1-0, they actually go the other way, so 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and 4-0 would be a lot bigger than a 4, if you know what I mean. Slightly confusing to get your head around, and in real life you know what you're buying hook wise, unless you're really keen on your fishing and you're into competition fishing, and then obviously you need to know your size of your hooks a bit better. So bait wise, these are your different baits. It does give you information if you click on it to tell you what best for. I've yet to buy a lure on this because I've just been using baits, but you can buy lures, spoons, spinners, wobblers, soft baits, and you can go fly fishing if you like. And then you've got your feeders, which is like your cages that let out, more for bottom fishing. And then you've got your other, which is some ground bait. It's your rod pods, if you like, or your rod rests. I've used them, but I still prefer the single experience of one rod. So that's that, but we'll now go to the actual fishing. We'll use our hunter vision, shall we know there's a few fish just about there, so we just won't whack it out too far. It says that, and he whacks it out too far. So we know there's a few just there, so we just let it out there. This lake's quite deep as well, deceptively not too bad, so you can have a bit of fun with the changing of the line. That's our maggot on the screen, but you'll notice that the view, you'll see the float is a little bit more visible. It's quite windy at the moment though. Look, I was going to say, looking at the gauge, it's going 13, 14 miles a second, or I don't know if it's meters a second, I don't know. Just felt a little pull on the line so that we have one, because that's the other thing you do on the game, is you get the feel as well. Get a little vibration usually with a bite, so if you do happen to be chatting away like I am, but you have the controller in your hand, you can get a feel. And there's a brown trout. We'll work it out a little bit further. I haven't looked at the view. Just say the species wise in this lake is not huge. It's just 4 different trouts. Enough. Just felt a little pull. Hopefully you see the float and then we'll strike. And I know I've got the fish. This one feels like it might be a little bit bigger. The way it's pulling. Have a little look at him under the water. He's quite close to the surface. The game does have like dynamic weather, different weather settings and stuff like that, because you can hear the wind. And that's a brown trout, and I'll leave this little stream on this little lake for going for a little bit. But this is your first fishery you'll encounter. So we're standard float fishing. Hear the wind picking up, but like I say, the best thing to do with this game to get the full effect, because you know it's a game that is more of a chill out sort of feel, is to turn the music off on the game and stick the nature settings up high and just give you that real sort of feel. There's a float having a pull, strike. Yeah, just get a real feel for what you would go fishing for in real life. You know, you go fishing for the fishing, but you also go for the peace and quiet. You go for the relax. You go for the zen feeling, and that's where this game sort of comes in, I think. Really. So it's not too hard to catch fish on the game, but like I say, as you progress through the levels, you do need a little bit more patience, maybe a little bit of know-how of how to create the rods for the different lakes. I mean, there are 1 or 2 that I still haven't done. I haven't bothered with fly fishing yet. Go fly fishing on here. I was just in a hurry to unlock. Then we'll strike it from underneath the water. So I was in a real hurry to unlock sea fishing. Really wanted to experience sea fishing in terms of a video game, a console game. So I've played them all. Light fishing games. They are my morning sort of cup of tea, if you like, or in my case, a cup of coffee, because I always have a cup of coffee. We'll whack this out a lot further this time. But it's just something to unwind to. I usually have the laptop by the side of me. That side of things. My phone's usually nearby. So I'm usually having a look at my Twitter as well, and sort of interacting on the complete Xbox Discord. Caught another one, so I haven't striked it yet. I'm showing you the different modes. You can look under the water. I'll strike it now. And we'll reel in. Like I say, you've got your different tensions on your reel. They felt quite sick because the overlays, but I think that's the highest tension, so that'll stop it from pulling. But the tensions aren't really needed on the too much on the first lake. Although this one's getting away from us, so maybe we'll say that he'll lose the fish. But now we're reeling it in now on the lowest tension. Providing quite a good fight, this one, for the first level fish. So we're reading it in. Little underwater camera. And then pull out. Obviously, if it was a bigger fish, it would need a net. So the net option would come up. But what we'll do is we'll quickly travel somewhere else. I'd say this lake does have several points where you can go fishing, but you get the general gist of the lake from that. We'll travel somewhere else. I mean, each lake you have to unlock. Costs you a little bit of money, but it's not overly excessive. It doesn't take long to unlock the first few lakes. It really doesn't. In fact, I haven't even been ice fishing yet. You can go ice fishing, which is this one. I haven't done that yet. Been meaning to, but this is Power Lake. And this is St. Zeno's Lakes. And then you've got Baikal Lake, the winter version, and then whatever that says. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Not been there, so but we'll go to St. Zeno's Lakes. You can get some mirror carps and chub. The good thing about this lake is it's set into I think 3 or 4 different lakes, and they all have different species in. So hopefully this will load a bit quicker. Just finished my cup of coffee. Always need a cup of coffee with this sort of game. I'd say nice, chill out, relax, sort of feel to it. Lazy morning. Hopefully it's still loading, not crashed. Yep, there you are. So here's your lakes. You'll see you're surrounded by different, obviously I think 3, so we'll press start. And then we'll head off. Is it 3 lakes? No, it's 4 lakes, so we've got 1 different settings. So I think we'll go to where number 1 is. And I think this little key here is a nice spot. They have no bait. Hope if I remember what fish are in this. So mirror carp, we'll look at mirror carp. So we'll look mirror carp and chub and bream. So we've got to choose the right bait for that. Maggots are usually good standard. Most fish take. So mirror carp are there. Chub. Our other carp there, crucian carp there, breamer there, so in chub. So maggots are a good start, I think. So we grab a couple of them. And we'll chuck it on there. We'll hit the hunter vision. As you can see, there's lots of fish about in this lake. hopefully we'll catch a fish or two on this lake. Still on the breezy side. You can hear the wind, which is fine. The thing I have to remember is that as I've gone up through the game, he hasn't took that very well, has he? But we'll strike. The thing about this game is, like I say, as you go up, level up, you do need to make use of the template areas, because some of the hooks that I use are far too big for these little areas now. But I think I've left this one as template for the lower level fishing. I don't think I've actually touched it, not from the look of it. But again, this is where you have to be careful if you're looking to level up. Certain baits cost certain money. This Crucian Cup, I can sell it for $4 or get extra XP. The money's I'm not too interested in now, because I can know where to go for the money. Go for the sea fishing lakes and the sea fishing area, and you'll rack up the money quite quickly if you know what you're doing. But I'll say, if I show you quickly how much the baits cost, it's maggot. You can buy for 4. So obviously the size of the fish matters as well. But you just have to be careful on what you're catching and what bait you're using. Certain baits do different things. This is where lures come in, and spinnings that sort of come in, because obviously you only buy them once, and that's it. So it might cost a bit more. You only buy them once. So it's a sort of financial sort of sense wise. Sometimes it pays back. Like I say, I've been very careful, and I actually haven't used any lures or spinners yet, so that is something to do in this game. Oh, I've hit the wrong button and I've actually clutched B. But we'll whack this out again. Not too far. And hopefully we'll catch another fish. Yeah, one's come up. So look at the view. We know the fish is on there because I had it on that particular view, but it's really having a tug at the line. You can see the float going into the water. We know because I had it on the underwater camera from here, which is press X for that. And this fish is really pulling. So we're going to have to be careful of how we manage him. Otherwise we'll run out of line, which we just did. See, it does happen. The fish do run out of line sometimes. So that's your bottom of the lake. It's sitting well. I'll get a little tug, a little feel on the controller, as well as on the float zoom. See what he's doing. But if I wanted to, I can use the underwater camera to get an idea where a fish is on line. Just leave it on there if I wanted to. Just had a feel from the controller, so I know a fish is there. Seen the, so we'll hopefully this time it will stick. then we'll be able to put it in. But these fish, it does feel, even I say a player that I've been playing on the higher levels, these fish are bouncing around. The fish has escaped. I've run out of line. Again, 2 in a row. Two fish that have got away now. So it's not always about catching the fish. Sometimes you will be frustrated. Maybe I'm too close to shore this time. Maybe it needs to be pushed out a little bit further. But we can have a fish that's interested. That is interested. They don't always bite. Sometimes they just swim around it. But this one, I felt the bite, and then there's the float going. So just keep him at bay at the moment. Hopefully we can tighten it and then we can bring him in, which is what's happening now. I'll just tighten the rod a little bit. We'll let him have his fun, a little pull. And that, he's not getting away, but I say this is only a level 1 rod. I've obviously kept it. I hadn't realised I kept it. So that should bring. So I could have used a higher level rod in this lake. And I may have to at some point because there's 1 or 2 little bigger fish, and I probably don't have as much line on this as say I would have for other lakes. But you've got a day and night cycle on the game. When the game first launched, the day night cycle was far too quick. Hours flew by in a matter of a minute or 2. But they fixed that with an update. Obviously, it wasn't meant. This fish seems to be coming in quite easily at the moment. No dramatics. We'll put it now. We've got that out. That's how you've got a level progression, which leads to unlocking different lakes and different rods and bits and pieces like that. But we'll leave that there. So that was a nice fishing trip, and I'm sure I'll be back with a different lake.